The following video is rated 18 plus and up. That means if you're not of age, kiddo, then would you kindly, please, piss off. Hey, hi, how you doing? This is Ryan and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Now this time, we will be beating around the bush just a little bit before we get straight into it. But first, less than a week ago, Subverse got its third significant content update in early access. Now this new update, part 1 of 2 of the Sova update, of course once again introduces you to a brand new waifu, the continuation of the main story quest, a decent amount of new dialogue, cutscenes, new unique set-piece gameplay including a new boss battle and new drinking minigame, a couple new side quests, and who can forget the new abundance of memes, parody, lewd, crude, and rude jokes galore, topping it all off with just a couple small additions to the sex scenes. The long and short of it, penis. If you like Subverse, this update contains more Subverse. Now, with all that being said, before I actually talk about specifics and details, before I just talk about the update in general, we need to talk about expectations. While a majority of folks in the Subverse community are understanding and reasonable, a few of you, somehow, have come under this ridiculous notion and garnered these ridiculous expectations that Subverse is somehow a live service or something akin to a Telltale game with episodic story content releases? Come here. Let me show you something. You see that? That reads Early Access. Get instant access and start playing. Get involved with this game as it develops. This early access game is not complete and may or may not change further. If you are not excited to play this game in its current state, then you should wait and see if the game progresses further in development. For those of you not getting the memo, the game's not fucking done yet. Context matters. This is an indie studio making their first ever video game, and by the most explicit means possible, they are an independent studio. This project, Subverse, is totally funded by you, the fans. They don't have a big, well-known indie publisher like Devolver Digital to fall back on, or a big AAA publisher like EA or Ubisoft or any of that shit. A disturbing amount of you somehow want this game to either have regular massive content updates, or just fully release the game right now. Fucking how? With what assets that haven't been developed yet? With what cutscenes that haven't been fully animated yet? With what magical hundreds of man-hours that they're gonna pull out of thin air to get all of that still needed coding and programming done? Look, it's one thing to offer fair, constructive, reasonable criticism. It's another thing entirely to expect the developers to bend the laws of reality so that they can somehow finish developing all the content right now and release the game right now. That's not how life works, kiddo. That's not how video game development works. Subverse isn't finished. It's not going to be finished for a while. If you can't accept that, if you're that impatient, you've got to move on. Move on and keep it to yourselves. The devs don't need to hear it. The game's not finished yet. Deal with it. The cast and crew of Subverse have already had so much horrific, vile shit thrown their way since they began this project. They are harassed, and I don't use this word lightly, I mean genuinely harassed, every fucking day. Yes, I'm well aware, it's the unfortunate reality we have to live with, doesn't make it any less vile. So yeah, to wrap up this little PSA I've started, recalibrate your expectations. Subverse is in early access, the game's not done yet, it's not going to be done for a while. Yes, if you backed the game on Kickstarter, if you bought it on Steam, you are indeed owed a finished product. But you won't be getting it today, you won't be getting it tomorrow, and you sure as hell won't be getting it next month. And saying, "I'm tired of waiting," isn't a valid argument. In the immortal words of Gabe Newell,
"These things, they take time."
With that out of the way, let's actually talk about Subverse, the Sova update, part 1. Getting into the nitty-gritty titties. First off, we have our brand new waifu, Princess Sovalin Maliana. Sova for short, voiced by Samantha Flowers, or as some may know her online, singing Samine. Now, I met Sam over 2 years ago. Holy fuck, it's been over 2 years. What the fuck, man? I met her after she made a video calling me out on my bullshit.
So, So let's start this thing off right by actually throwing the Gamertron show's Subverse waifu tier list into the garbage for bad opinions on catgirls.
Easy B tier.
We all know Terran deserves higher than B tier. This nerd fails to acknowledge Terran is more than just sex.
I had it coming. When I found out she was a part of Studio Faux and working on Subverse as not only the casting director, the sound designer, and voicing one of the main characters, there are just no words in any language that appropriately describe just how damn proud of her I am. She is one of the most hard-working people in the world. So as you can imagine, I was immensely excited to learn about her character and hear her voice acting for the first time. And Sova is literally the exact fucking opposite of Sam.
Ahem. Hey, Mister! Yoo-hoo!
Yeah?
Listen, you queef harvesting shitlord. Fuck me and my fucking ass! Okay, first of all, I'll have you know I haven't gotten wasted and thrown down in a bar in at least... Well, okay, maybe I do have a tiny bit of a drinking problem. I put my family's cash to good use by filling the entire room with the hardest cocks and the biggest titties I could find. All so they could defile Daddy's little girl one after another. Here's to my new friends. May we not die a horrible death together.
Cheers!
Not only is she funny as fuck, but Sova is a delightful subversion of the Disney princess who wants more trope, where usually they seek adventure and independence. Sova just wants to get fucked up and fuck other people up. And as usual with Subverse's cast of waifus, there are deeper layers of social commentary and deeper themes just bubbling on the surface of her character. Also, her and the captain have incredible chemistry.
That's 6 shots to 3, bitch! Fuck you! Pay up!
This Sheila's a fucking legend!
You fucking team. There's Zuba team phase.
Fucking A, you mean? I like you.
Now that I'm part of the crew, I just want to make sure you know to keep your filthy fucking drugs away from me. I don't poison my body with that narco shit. Got it?
But you're a raging alcoholic!
Now Sova, when it comes to gameplay, is a fucking beast. Studio Faux continues to impress with how they design these waifus to be both powerful and unique from one another. Sova is a melee tank who can hit hard and take a beating. You've got her primary attacks. Pulverizer hits a single target and does minor damage for one tile around that target. Basically melee attacks with a solid AoE radius. Next is Bring It On. Hits a single melee target with her hammer for minor damage and taunts it for the next round. Saps a portion of the target's armor if it has one. This attack is all about fulfilling that tank role. Then we come to her passives. Shield. Begins combat with a shield that blocks all incoming damage from the first attack. Her second passive, Bully, deals extra damage when attacking the same enemy in consecutive turns. So yeah, again, melee tank, going all in on that class role. Then we have her ultimates. Teely Thunder deals massive damage to a 3x3 area on the map. The target at the center is stunned and receives full damage, while the surrounding units are dealt lesser damage the further away they are from the center. And then her second ultimate, Teely Fortress, creates an energy barrier around Sova that absorbs some damage before exploding outwards, dealing damage to the enemy units around it. Yeah, if it wasn't clear yet, melee tank. Now, when it comes to spaceship combat and the secondary weapon Sova provides for the Phoenix, it's the Space Hammer Blast, a 360-degree shockwave that deals major damage to any foe caught in its path, and it really does mean major damage. Holy fucking shit. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be hard forcing myself to use the other waifus in space missions and not just use Sova. I cannot overstate enough just how powerful Sova's Phoenix weapon is. I'm no expert on balancing in games, but maybe, possibly, this may be a wee bit unbalanced, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a lot of fun. We'll see how the devs tune it in the future. Now, while we're still on the topic of gameplay, we did get a couple new additions with the Sova Update Part 1. Just a couple things. Of course, there is the new drinking minigame, which I, unfortunately, forgot to record footage for. And this minigame, as of right now, unfortunately, cannot be replayed And I'm not replaying the whole fucking game again just to get less than a minute of footage of this drinking game, so you'll have to settle for this. Subverse's new drinking minigame is a minigame in a video game. I was amused by it. The animations are absolutely solid. I really like the little detail where the music gets more distorted the more drunk the captain gets. The developers absolutely have a ton of potential here to expand this minigame feature. I look forward to seeing what they do with it. Now for me personally, next to Sova, in terms of my favorite additions to gameplay, is your new Mantic unit for the turn-based battle sections, Recall. Now, before you even get Recall, you have to do this excellent side quest that contains a unique environment and combat gameplay for the spaceship shoot-'em-up portion of the game. Really enjoying all these shoot-'em-up sections of the game where we're taking our ship planet-side. It allows for more linear, handcrafted experiences with more cover to utilize. Really enjoy this stuff. But after you complete this side quest, you get Recall. And Recall is now one of, if not the best Mantic in the game. He is now going to be a permanent part of my team composition in the turn-based strategy battles. The area of effect on his melee attack, I don't even consider it a melee attack. With the fucking range on this thing, it's basically a ranged attack. You can damage multiple enemy units at once, while also healing several of your own units, if not your whole team, at the same time. Recall is fucking great. I fucking love him. And now, before I talk about all the new story content added with this update, I've gotta talk about the lip flaps, man. The lip flaps are fucking me up after playing this game for dozens of hours, and my brain just acclimatizing to the characters not moving their mouths during dialogue sequences. Like, oh, this is the part where I have to employ my suspension of disbelief, because these are like the visual novel sections of the game where stuff is being implied and I have to use my imagination, but now the characters' mouths move when they talk, and it's fucking me up, man. It's fucking my brain up. I'm getting that, what's that called? Uncanny Valley feeling. It's honestly going to take me a while to get used to the fact that the characters' mouths now move when they talk. This was an addition to the game I was never expecting to see happen. Now, let's talk about the story in the Sova Update Part 1 proper. The captain and crew find themselves on the Teely homeworld to recruit Princess Sova for the cause. Keeping spoilers to a minimum, as I don't want to tarnish this experience for you, I will say this. The opening minutes of this new chapter of the story are so fucking funny, they had me wheezing. Without giving you the context for this, Subverse makes fun of J-pop and K-pop stans. Oh fuck. It's really funny. Trust me, it's really funny. Hello, this is Ryan, 10 minutes in the future after composing myself. Oh my god. Yes, I very much enjoyed this new story content. There was some great world building and lore, especially surprisingly for the captain. Sova's great. We got some really fun interactions between all the waifus. Oh yeah, and Sova's parents are fucking evil, terrible people. Holy shit, talk about some despicable villains. Lastly, because of course, we have the new erotic content that comes with this update. There are new foreplay cutscenes added to the original recruitment scenes for the waifus. They're well animated. There were a few new scenes added to Pandora, mostly for Demi. The majority of the new explicit content, especially revolving around Sova, will be coming in Part 2 of the Sova update. Do any of you have even the slightest comprehension of how awkward it is to listen to your friend voice act taking a dick up the ass? But that's part of my job now. I've gotta listen to my friends pretend to take a dick up the ass. But I do it for all of you! I do it for you guys. Anyways, that's been a video on the latest new content update for Subverse, Sova Part 1. Stay tuned for Part 2. I will be covering that as well, in whatever form it may take. Thank you so much for your continued support. of myself and, of course, Subverse and the cast and crew, please go follow Singing Samane on Twitter and on YouTube. She is a treasure, she is a blessing on this world, and deserves all the love and support imaginable. I love you, Sam, and I miss you so much. Anyways, that's been a video. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, share on Twitter, Reddit, yada yada yada. That's been a video. I'll see you guys later.